she said. "He lacks ambition. I need a partner who wants more from life than this." I replied, "Noted." I waited until her family's annual charity gala. Then I quietly forwarded her post to my new CEO. When he introduced me as his new vice president during his speech, I, Julian, 34, male, had been with Camila, 32, for 6 years. We lived a life that looked perfect on paper in Raleigh, North Carolina. I was a senior product manager at a respectable software company, earning a comfortable $130,000 a year. Camila worked in marketing for her father's massive real estate development firm, a regional dynasty, with a salary of $75,000 that was supplemented by a generous family trust. We lived in a beautiful 4-bedroom house in the affluent North Hills neighborhood, a house that I owned. Our social calendar was dictated by her family's obligations, charity events, gallery openings, and dinners at exclusive restaurants like the Angus Barn. The opportunity arrived on a bright Wednesday morning. A well-funded startup in Charlotte, focused on smart home integration and sustainable building technology, reached out to me. They were a direct, aggressive competitor to her family's old, world construction empire. They wanted me to build and lead their new technology division from the ground up. The offer was for a director of innovation role, with a base salary of $220,000 and a significant equity stake in the company. It was a chance to be on the bleeding edge of the industry, to build a legacy based on vision rather than inheritance. I presented the offer to Camila that evening. I was genuinely excited about the possibility of creating something new, something that could redefine our future. I detailed the salary, the equity, the chance to lead. She listened, her expression growing colder with each word. "A startup in Charlotte?" she asked, her voice dripping with disdain. "They're a toy company, Julian. My father's company builds skylines. They build apps. They're the future," I countered. "This is a ground floor opportunity." She laughed, a short, dismissive sound. "You lack the ambition to climb the ladder at a real company. You'd rather play with gadgets." The conversation ended there, but her judgment hung in the air. A week later, a mutual friend showed me a post from her private social media account. It was a picture of us at a recent event, with her words typed over it. "He lacks ambition. I need a partner who wants more from life than this." Update 1. I told the Charlotte firm I would give them my answer within 2 weeks. I had already made my decision. Camila's post was a clarification, not an insult. She saw ambition as climbing a pre-existing social and corporate ladder, her father's ladder. I saw it as building a new one. She continued her campaign to frame me as a failure. Over brunch with her friends, all daughters of her father's business associates, she feigned concern. "Julian is thinking of throwing his career away," she said, shaking her head sadly. "He wants to take some small job at a tech gimmick company. I'm so worried he's losing his drive." Her friends offered their empty sympathies. "He's always been so quiet," one of them said. "Maybe he's just not cut out for the big leagues." I let the narrative play out. Quietly, I began to prepare for my exit. I opened a new set of bank and investment accounts with a different financial institution. I spent my evenings researching modern condos in Charlotte's uptown district. I also had a quiet consultation with a real estate lawyer to discuss the process of selling my house and separating our shared assets. It was a purely logistical exercise, like planning a complex project with a clear, defined outcome. Update 2. I chose to tell her my decision on a Sunday afternoon. The house was quiet, and we were in the living room, a space filled with art and furniture she had chosen. "Camila, I have accepted the director position in Charlotte." She looked up from her magazine, her eyes like ice. "You're actually going through with this fantasy?" "I am," I confirmed. "My start date is in 7 weeks. You are choosing a silly startup over our entire life," she said, her voice low and controlled. "Over me. Over the future my family can offer you." "I am choosing my own future," I replied. She stood up, her posture rigid. "Then you are choosing to do it alone. You can have your little tech toy company, or you can have me. You can't have both." I looked at her, and the words from her post echoed in my mind. "I need a partner who wants more from life than this." She was right. We both did. "I choose my career," I answered. Update 3. The weeks that followed were a cold and silent battle. Camila moved between icy disdain and tearful accusations of betrayal. She had her father call me, a thinly veiled threat about the professional consequences of competing with his firm. I remained calm and detached through it all, focusing on the methodical process of dismantling our shared life. I hired a staging company to prepare my house for sale, I arranged for movers, and I packed my personal belongings. Her friends, once my friends, now looked through me at social functions. I didn't care. I was already gone. On the day the movers came, she was not there. She had moved her things out the week before, leaving her key on the polished granite of the kitchen island. I drove my Genesis G80 south on I-85 toward Charlotte. The 2-hour drive felt like crossing a continent. The skyline of my new city rose to meet me, a collection of modern glass towers that felt like a promise. My new apartment was a corner unit on the 20th floor of a new high-rise, with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view that stretched for miles. My new office was a hub of creative energy, filled with brilliant, driven people. I felt like I could finally breathe. Update 4: 6 months in Charlotte changed everything. The smart home division I was building became the company's fastest growing segment. We secured a major contract to integrate our technology into a new 1,000-unit residential development, a deal that put us on the map. My equity in the company was already worth a significant amount. My CEO, a visionary named David Sterling, was thrilled with my performance. He awarded me a $60,000 bonus. I sold my house in Raleigh for a significant profit and used the proceeds and my bonus to buy my Charlotte condo outright. I was living debt-free in a city I loved. I was making new friends, people who were building their own futures, not just inheriting them. One evening, I received a text from one of Camila's old friends. "Hey Julian. We heard you're doing some interesting things in Charlotte. Camila said you were working at some small app company." I thought of her post. "He lacks ambition." That phrase had become a quiet mantra for me, a reminder of what I was working to prove. I replied to the text with a simple, polite message. "The work is very rewarding. I hope you are well." Update 5. Our company's success was a story of disruption, and the business press loved it. A major tech journal ran a feature story on us, calling our firm the future of urban living. The article included a lengthy interview with me, highlighting my role in the company's rapid growth. They referred to me as the architect of their innovation engine. A week later, David promoted me to Vice President of Technology. I updated my professional profile online. The news spread quickly. Camila's messages started that evening. "Vice President? That's not a director role." Another followed. "You deliberately misled me about the scale of this opportunity." Then came the calls from her old friends, their tones now filled with a strange mix of curiosity and respect. My family, who had been fed Camila's narrative of my risky and foolish career move, called to congratulate me, admitting they had misunderstood. The truth, backed by a major publication and a new title, was finally drowning out her fiction. Update 6. She arrived at my condo building in Charlotte a week later. She had bypassed the front desk by coming in with another resident. She was waiting outside my door when I got home from work. She looked smaller, her usual confident posture replaced with a hesitant uncertainty. "Julian," she said, "we need to talk." "There is nothing to talk about," I replied, my hand on the doorknob. "I was wrong," she said, her voice soft. "I was scared. I was tied to my father's world, and I couldn't see the future you were trying to build. I see it now." She stepped closer. "I've changed. I want to be a part of that future with you." I looked at her, and the memory of her post was as clear as if it were on a screen in front of me. "You said you needed a partner who wants more from life," I said. "You were right. I did too, and I found it. I can be that partner," she insisted. "No," I replied calmly. "You wanted a partner who wanted your life. I wanted to build my own." I opened my door. "Goodbye, Camila." Update 7. Her father, enraged by my rejection of his daughter, decided to retaliate. He used his considerable influence to lobby the city of Charlotte against granting our company the necessary permits for a new research and development facility we were planning to build. It was a classic move of old power, trying to crush new competition. But David, my CEO, was smarter. He didn't fight the battle behind closed doors. He took it public. He gave an interview to the Charlotte Observer, framing the conflict as a story of a local, Innovative company being bullied by an out-of-town legacy firm afraid of progress. The story went viral. Public support for our company soared. The city council, under public pressure, approved our permits unanimously. Her father's power play backfired, making his company look like a dinosaur, and ours look like the future. Update 8. 2 years after my move, my life was unrecognizable in the best possible way. The company was preparing for a very successful IPO, and my equity was now worth millions. I was in a stable, loving relationship with a woman named Iva, a brilliant architect I had met through work. Our partnership was built on mutual admiration and a shared passion for building new things. One evening, I received a final email from Camila. Her father's company was facing financial trouble, having lost several major bids to more innovative competitors. She had left the company and was trying to start her own marketing consultancy. The email was short and filled with a regret that felt genuine. "I chose status over vision," she wrote. "And I lost both. I am truly sorry for not believing in you." I read it and felt a quiet sense of finality. I replied with a simple, polite message. "I wish you success in your new venture." I archived the email. Final update: it was the night of the annual De Vierox Family Foundation Charity Gala in Raleigh, the biggest social event of the year. My company was a primary sponsor this year, a strategic move by David to announce our dominance in the region. I attended as his guest. I saw Camila and her family across the ballroom. They looked stiff, their smiles forced. During the evening's speeches, David took the stage. He spoke about the future of the region, about innovation, and about the importance of ambition. Then he looked in my direction. "Speaking of ambition," he said, his voice resonating through the hall, "there are those who see it as climbing a ladder, and there are those who see it as building a new one. I'm honored to work with a man who does the latter." I felt a buzz in my pocket. It was a notification that David had just seen the email I had forwarded him an hour earlier, the one with the screenshot of Camila's old post. David continued. He was accused by some of lacking ambition. He smiled. "I think our company's success proves otherwise. It is my great pleasure to introduce the architect of our future, and my new executive vice president, Julian Hayes." A spotlight hit me. The ballroom erupted in applause. I saw the look on Camila's face, a shattering of her carefully composed facade. I saw her father's face, pale with shock and fury. In that moment, the lesson of the past 2 years crystallized. True ambition is not about the titles others can give you, but about the value you can create. It's not about seeking approval, but about having the courage to pursue a vision that others cannot see. And sometimes, the greatest validation comes not from arguing with your critics, but from simply building them.